Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, Chapter 7, Text 91, Translation and Commentary, by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This is a narration of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaking to the Mayavadi sannyasis at Varanasi. And he's telling them, this verse is, he's telling them what his guru told him. So it's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaking, but he's quoting what his guru said to him. His guru, Ishvarapuri ke dhanna karelena Sri Chaitanya. So the verse is as follows: Bhalo hailo paile tumi param purushartha toma premete ami hoilam kritartha. So Srila Prabhupada's translation: it is very good, my dear child, that you have attained the supreme goal of life by developing love of Godhead. Thus you have pleased me very much, and I am very much obliged to you. Purport: according to the revealed scriptures, if a spiritual master can convert even one soul into a perfectly pure devotee, his mission in life is fulfilled. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur always used to say, even at the expense of all the properties, temples and mutts that I have, if I could convert even one person into a pure devotee, my mission would be fulfilled, unquote. It is very difficult, however, to understand the science of Krishna, what to speak of developing love of Godhead. Therefore, if by the grace of Lord Chaitanya and the spiritual master a disciple attains the standard of pure devotional service, the spiritual master is very happy. The spiritual master is not actually happy if the disciple brings him money, but when he sees that a disciple is following the regulated principles and advancing in spiritual life, he is very glad and feels obliged to such an advanced disciple. This verse and purport gives some insight into the very sweet and meaningful relationship between gurus and disciples. Of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not an ordinary disciple. And Ishvarapuri, he's not an ordinary guru. To be the guru of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not like being the guru of me. Although Srila Prabhupada is the personified mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in accepting many people who would not normally be considered even allowed to come anywhere near a Vaishnava, you see. Even the followers of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, they were closed out from the temples in Vrindavan. The temple doors were closed on them, and what are they compared to the people that Srila Prabhupada preached to? Srila Prabhupada emphasizes the sweetness here by adding the words, the my dear child, in the translation, which actually doesn't come in the Bengali, but it conveys the mood of Ishvarapuri in addressing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I thought to read this and make some comment on a short email I got from one of my disciples, Nityananda Das Adhikari, who I think most of you here know, who's translating now from Sanskrit to English, living in Vrindavan. So he's written, I am praying for your kind blessings to present a seminar on the Chatushloki of the Bhagavatam as a part of the VIHE Bhakti Vaibhav course. I have studied the Acharya commentaries on these verses long ago, but now I feel it is the time for me to share this knowledge with devotees. My personal realization is very meager, but by your mercy I could have some insight into the subject so that the presentation will be beneficial for both the devotees and my lowly self. These verses are so wonderful, and their deepest meanings are expressed so compactly and in choicest words that every devotee studying them would feel enthused to become absorbed in Srimad Bhagavatam more and more. I only aspire to become an instrument in spreading the glories of the Bhagavatam among the devotees and people at large. So my reply to that is that in whatever way Srila Prabhupada may have invested any of his potency in me, be blessed, be blessed, be blessed. It's very pleasing to see that devotees are, through the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, taking up Krishna consciousness, even though coming from a background of no Krishna consciousness, not like people in India who grow up with something, at least something, even now, just like that girl we were talking to last night. She's a young girl, what? 18 years old, something like that. And we saw on her cell phone, she had it's the first time she came to our program, she had what do you call that on the cell phone, the picture? Wallpaper. Wallpaper of a picture of Krishna. So, when Nityananda Das was growing up in Latvia, there weren't cell phones, nor was there much knowledge of Krishna. But he's come a long way, and it's very pleasing to see that he is going to present this seminar. He's studied the Acharya's commentaries and is becoming a medium by which others can, the enthusiasm of the Acharyas in presenting Krishna in the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, that has been conveyed to him through time and space, through their commentaries, and he's enthused to share that with others. And although he's asking for my blessings, it goes without saying that he can teach much better than I can. He studied the previous Acharya's commentaries. He's more learned in this area. He's applied his mind and intelligence and devotional thoughts to understand that, and Krishna, who is within everyone's heart, is enthusing him to share the realizations that Krishna, through Saraswati, is imparting to him. So that's very pleasing. Just like Ishvara Puri was very pleased to have a disciple, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was very serious about spiritual life, and not just, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu attained love of Godhead. That's what Ishvara Puri said. He is Krishna consciousness. That's the very meaning of his name. Krishna Chaitanya means Krishna consciousness. But Ishvara Puri says, what is that? Pailam Purushartha. Paila Tomi. Param Purushartha. Toma Premete Ami Hoilam Kritata. I feel very grateful that you have attained to this stage. So, I feel very grateful that devotees who I'm associated with in the relationship of guru and disciple are making spiritual advancement like this. And I'm also very grateful that he's asking for blessings, because you don't have to, do you? You can just do it. You don't, in the VIHE they won't ask, have you asked for blessings? You can just go ahead and do it. But that attitude to ask for blessings, that also invokes the blessings, and it sustains that sweet and meaningful relationship. Now you may say, well, who the hell are you to offer blessings anyway? You're just a conditioned soul. But it would be ungrateful and wrong of me to deny that I'm receiving some mercy from Prabhupada. Otherwise, how am I here at all? And Srila Prabhupada wanted us to preach and share that with others. So, in whatever way I can share that mercy of Srila Prabhupada with others, I should do so. And this attitude of wanting to seek the blessings, not that, well, I've studied the commentaries and see, now I know everything and I'll show everyone how great I am. It's a completely different attitude. In fact, this we find in Chaitanya Charitamrita that this Keshav Kashmiri, he had that attitude. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just showed him that he's not so smart as he thinks he is. If he'd have been somewhat humble, then the story might have unwound differently. He was worshipping Saraswati, but he didn't have an attitude of humility. So that attitude of humility is the key to spiritual advancement. So I just wanted to mention that. It's very pleasing to see that devotee. Of course, there are so many devotees all over the world who we don't know about. It's just like, who knows about Guru Das and company in Valsad? A few people who read this book distribution seminar. But there's so many devotees all over the world making sacrifices and doing all kinds of services, and we just don't know about them all. So many great souls Prabhupada has created